whenever I was tiny, well, I guess I was probably about the average age of the kids here, and I was a perfect, no, I wasn't a perfect little boy. And there was one thing that we did that we thought was great, because our houses backed off with a small garden, and then the houses behind us were about 10 feet lower, and there was a wall that ran at the back of our gardens, and on our side the wall was this height, so a ground here, and on this side, big drop down here, and it was the most exciting thing in the world to walk along that wall. We weren't allowed to walk along the wall, but we did. And our neighbours told us, kept saying to us, don't do that, if you do that anymore, if you do that once more, I'm phoning the police. So we were walking along the wall like this, and very dangerous, very silly, but that's what we did. And so anyway, we were walking along the wall, and the lady came out and said, right, that's it, I've phoned the police. I thought, that's terrible. So I thought, I know what I'll do, I'll go and hide. And it was one of our neighbours' gardens, had long grass and a hedge, and I wriggled through the grass, laying underneath the hedge, and waited. And after a while, a police car did come, and was coming to talk to the children. Well, I thought I was going to be put in jail for the rest of my life. So I didn't come out, and I lay under that hedge, hiding for hours until it was dark. I came home about 11 o'clock. So I was good at hiding, and our story today is all about hiding. So, let me see. Whenever I was setting up church this morning, I hid some sweets for the children about church, okay? And if you can find these sweets, now no running about crazy, but you're allowed to get up and look for them, then okay, Claire, you can join in too. There's enough for you as well. So there's some sweets hidden in the church, and I think they might have been down maybe that back corner. Just giving you a clue. So if you want to get up, kids, and look in the back corner. Down in the back corner, maybe. Oh, or maybe under Robert's, but then put them under Robert's chair. Maybe they're under Claire's seat. Are they under Claire's seat? Oh, let me see. I think maybe Paul has them. Go and check it, Paul.
Yeah.
No, here they are. Here they are. So sit down, and I'll give you the sweets. I will give you the sweets at the end of church. Okay? So remind me to give you the sweets at the end of church. So our story today is about people who had to hide. And they hid in the house of a lady called Rahab. And Rahab was known, everybody in the town knew her, she was a very sinful lady, but they were the people that they were going to hide in her house. Because as far as God's concerned, God doesn't say, oh, that's just a little sin and that's a big sin. As far as God's concerned, sin is sin, and actually everybody's a sinner and everybody sins. But all of the people thought she was the worst sinner, she was the worst person in the town. And that's Rahab, and she plays a very big part in our story. But let's go back to what we were doing just before we disappeared off on holiday. And we looked at the whole story of Moses, and how God used Moses to take the people who were slaves in Egypt into a whole new land. Except, at the end of the story, they never quite got there, they were still in the desert. And so we're starting to look at what happens next. So, if you remember, Moses sent out, when they came to the very edge of the promised land, and Moses said, I wonder what it's really like. And he sent 12 spies in. Now, can you remember, of the 12 spies, how many came back and said, it's a brilliant land God's given us, let's go in right away? So, anybody remember how many spies said it was good?
4.
4? 2. Yeah, it was 2. And it was 10 said, these people are huge, and they've got great big cities and walls, and they've got all these spears and bows and arrows, and there's millions of them, and we're far too scared. And the 2 men were Joshua and Caleb, and God said, right, okay, since you won't believe me that I've given you this land, then everybody here is just going to die in the desert. You're just going to live your normal life, but you're just going to wander and wander and wander in the desert and die. But I'm going to give this land to your children and your grandchildren. But you know what? Joshua and Caleb that believed me, they can go into this new land. And so Joshua became the leader after Moses died. Can you imagine This took 40 years. And can you imagine what it was like for Joshua and Caleb saying, God's going to bring us into this holy land? Didn't do it today. Didn't do it today. Didn't do it last week. Didn't do it last year. Sometimes it's really hard to wait. When you know God's going to do something and has promised you something, but it doesn't happen right away. But anyway, after those 40 years, then God said to Joshua, after all the 40 years of waiting, he said, it's time. It's time. We're actually going to go in and take this whole new land that I've promised you. And Joshua says, right, okay, well, we better check it out. And you were going to start with Jericho, that was the closest city. And he said, I'm not going to send 12 spies, I'm just going to send 2 spies, and they're going to go into Jericho and just see what it's like before we go in. And so when they went in, they stayed in this house, in the house of this lady called Rahab. Now, the king of Jericho, he heard that there was, somebody told him that there was spies that came into his city. And people said, they're in Rahab's house. And whenever they came to Rahab's house, well, before they came, Rahab said to the spies, look, I know you belong to the children of Israel, and I know God is with you. And we've heard how He brought you across the Red Sea, and He gives you this manna and feeds you every single day. And everybody that you've come against, God has destroyed them, and you are mighty people, and God is really with you. And everybody here in this town is terrified of you because they've heard that you're coming and that God's with you, and that your God is far bigger than any gods we worship. And so Rahab said, you hide there, and when the king's men come, I'll send them away. So just like I told you, they're here, and they're here, and they're here. Rahab said, no, they're not here. I think they went down that way. Oh no, maybe they went off this way. And so then the spies were safe, and they escaped. And she said, look, I know I did this because I believe in your God. Your God is a great God. And they promised her, look, when we come and we take this city, we will look after you, and we will protect you, and we will keep you safe. So, now I'm going to play our video.
This is Rahab. Rahab lives in a town called Jericho. Actually, she lives in a house that was part of the outer wall of Jericho. And God used Rahab to help his people enter the land He had promised them. The problem was, the city of Jericho was in their way. So 2 spies went to check it out. When the king of Jericho found out there were Israelite spies in the city, he sent people to find them. And even though Rahab knew it would be really dangerous if she got caught, she chose to protect the spies by hiding them in her own home. She did this because she knew that God was on the side of the Israelites. She had heard the stories about how they escaped from Egypt and how God split the Red Sea for them. And she knew that if God had told them to defeat Jericho, it would happen. And she hoped her family would be protected. So the spies promised her that if she hung a red rope in her window and didn't leave her house, her family would be protected. Then they climbed out of the window and went down the city wall. Rahab was brave when it wasn't easy. She trusted that God would protect her, and He did. And even better, many years later, Jesus was born into Rahab's family. And that's a little bit about Rahab.
Okay, so the spies escaped thanks to Rahab, and they went back to Joshua and said, the land is good, and these people are already afraid of us because they know that God is with us, and He'll help us conquer Jericho. And they also told Joshua about all that Rahab had done for them. So you see, God used someone very unlikely, someone that everybody else thought was a really bad person. But remember, God can change anybody's life and help us to trust Him and use us no matter what we've done. So like Rahab, we need to realise who God is and trust Him, because He will look after us if we trust Him. Okay, so we've got a song. And I knew there were some great songs while I was away that my friend Ian was doing with you. But since it's me, I get to do one of my favourites. And there's actions, we need actions. I can't do actions and play the guitar. I try, and it really, really, really doesn't work. So I need you to do the actions for me. So let's stand up. Especially if your kids stand up. If you're basically a kid on the inside, you can stand up too. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that He cannot do. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that He cannot do. The mountains are His, the rivers are His, the stars are His handiwork too. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that He cannot do. Really good, so we'll get all over again. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that He cannot do. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that He cannot do. The mountains are His, the rivers are His, the stars are His handiwork too. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that He cannot do. Very good. Well, I was going to say take your seats, but you just stay straight up again.